The Nintendo Switch 2 released a little over a week ago, and I have spent a good while playing the launch title, Mario Kart World. Since this is the first major game I've been hooked on since starting Stormwind Adventures, I've been doing something I wouldn't normally do with the game, looking at which spots I'd want to be able to take a vacation to. So I thought it would be fun to rank every track based on what it would take for me to visit them. I will say this based on my current mood, and the closer to first, the more likely I'd visit it. So let's get started. Number 30, Airship Fortress. Unfortunately, being in the middle of the air and having all these broken pieces of road are not what I would call a safe and fun vacation. This is a very cool track though, just not a good place to take a relaxing vacation. Number 29, Toad's Factory. It feels really bad to put such a fun map so low on the list, but this would definitely not be a good vacation spot because it's just an OSHA violation waiting to happen. Number 28, Dry Bones Burnout. Minus all the lava, this area feels like stepping into probably a side area of Disney's Coco, not necessarily like that initial shot. Except, I'm not ignoring any of the stage hazards, so the lava absolutely bumps this to the near bottom of the list. It's just not at all a safe place for a vacation. And I want to be safe and have fun and not get lava burns. Number 27, Bowser's Castle. Another massive lava area, but this one does have a slightly more interesting design. After visiting Super Nintendo World, the giant flaming Bowser would definitely be cool to see in person, but I don't know if it's worth the insane heat that would be going through this area. Number 26, Wario Shipyard. I have thoroughly enjoyed the spooky vibes of this route ever since it was announced. However, we're looking for the best vacation, and a bunch of floating wreckage is definitely not a vacation. It's barely a place to visit. Unless you're a pirate, I guess. Number 25, Desert Hills. This feels like a sort of additional trip a tourist would make on, say, a cruise, or as a day trip from their initial destination. It's just not got a lot going on, but it's at least mostly safe to visit unlike the previous choices. Number 24, Wario Stadium. So this is a stage from Mario Kart 64, and while it has been amazingly revamped, that doesn't make it a good location for a vacation. However, it does feel like it could be worth a day trip for an event like a monster truck rally or a dirt track race. It's just not my idea of a fun time, so it doesn't make it very high on this list. Number 23, Mario Circuit. In a similar vein to Wario Stadium, Mario Circuit is worth a day trip at most for whatever event is currently happening. So why does that make it higher? Easy, you could set up a picnic and an umbrella on the grass around the area to watch the event rather than having to sit in the very loud stadium. Still not a vacation though. Number 22, Great Question Mark Block Ruins. This area is honestly really interesting to look at, not just from the actual course, but also in the water below it. However, I don't think a trek through some jungle ruins would be a relaxing vacation, and as I haven't seen any cars while doing the P-Switch challenges, I'm going with you'd have to walk. That's just not for me for a vacation. But I do like the aesthetic enough to bump it up, as I would visit it over the previous choices for that reason alone. Number 21, Rainbow Road. This is the only map you have to unlock in the game, and it is absolutely amazing to just look at. Unfortunately, this would be another painful vacation spot to visit, so the beauty is the only thing dragging this course up over some of the safer courses. It is definitely an awesome celebration of the previous Rainbow Roads, but it lacks the ease of some of the upcoming courses to truly be worth planning a vacation. Number 20, Boo Cinema. A haunted movie theater isn't really even a day's trip worth of things to do, but if we're going off what's in the game, then the idea of being able to jump into the screen definitely raises it above the previous courses as a place to want to visit. But the bog outside is definitely not any better than some of the airbase levels, so we gotta keep looking. Number 19, Sky High Sundae. This is essentially a giant ice cream land, so it gets out of the bottom third just for being a unique location. But I don't know about going to vacation for a food-themed resort. It's certainly a choice you can make, but the location of an ice cream-based vacation destination in an already cold climate doesn't make me want to visit very often. Number 18, Shy Guy Bazaar. Considering I just got sunburned after applying sunblock fairly frequently through my Epic Universe trip, the idea of going somewhere with even more sun is not appealing to me right now. This is definitely a very interesting location, and if I had a way to not fry, then it would be higher on the list. Number 17, Choco Mountain. This new take on Choco Mountain reminds me a lot of Thomasville from Cars 3 due to all the mud everywhere. It does seem like it could be a fun little day trip, or even maybe a weekend trip, but it definitely feels like something for locals of the area to have fun with, so not a tourist destination. Number 16, Mario Bros. Circuit. I took another look at this course while trying to decide where it should go, and it honestly reminds me of Radiator Springs with all the old-timey gas station pumps and the little restaurant looking thing. So I am placing it here as it feels like a fun place to visit, even if it wouldn't be one of my first choices for a vacation. Number 15, Moo Moo Meadows. This is a very middle of the road track. I spent a fair bit of time on a farm when I was growing up, and this would definitely be a good way to just relax if I wasn't having to help maintain it. However, it's not a particularly interesting setting for a vacation, and the giant castle in the background almost feels like the way Florida farms looked around Disney World, so it's just all around better for this to be the midway point. Number 14, DK Spaceport. I actually really wanted to put this course higher, but the more I explored the map and free roam, the more I realized that this would just be like visiting the Space Coast in Florida, meaning guests wouldn't really get to see the actually cool stuff going on inside. So it dropped several places because of that. It would still probably be worth a day trip, but it's definitely not worth an entire vacation. Number 13, Dandelion Depths. The caverns part of this course reminds me of a cave that my school took me to during my childhood, and the rest of the area feels like it would have something to do because of the giant mountains around it, so you gotta have a little touristy town before people go up to their ski lodge or whatever is up on the mountain. It's definitely another day trip style rather than full on vacation, but it's very pretty to look at. Number 12, DK Pass. I'll be honest, a ski trip is not really my kind of vacation, but this is a safe area, it's got an interesting environment, and maybe I'd be willing to try skiing if I had already made the effort to visit. I do really like the little cabins, and at least this would be an area with an actual vacation instead of just one day. Number 11, Koopa Troopa Beach. Koopa Troopa Beach, as it is displayed in Mario Kart World, feels like it's a spring break beach. I should note, I went to plenty of them on the Gulf when I was growing up. It was never bad, but living in Orlando, I want my vacations to take me away from the people trying to very, very loudly vacation. So, sorry Koopa Beach, you don't make the cut. Number 10, Crown City. Ironic that I should have this directly after saying I want somewhere quieter. However, a city isn't the same as a spring break beach. This could definitely work for a full vacation, as you've got lots of options, including the mountain with the rainbow fragment on it. I will say I don't know what the closest place in real life to this would be, as it isn't New York, since that would be New Donk City from Super Mario Odyssey. But there's a lot of things to do in Crown City, so it absolutely needs to be top 10, even if it is just going to be visiting a big city. Number 9, Faraway Oasis. Based on the track, this feels like staying in the middle of Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, but with even more animals and more space for them to roam. I enjoyed the idea of getting to watch the animals from the riverboats and staying at Toad's Wharf. My opinion on this may change if I ever get the chance to do the paid safari tour at Disney's Animal Kingdom, but that doesn't have a riverboat, so there'd still be some reason to do this. Plus, you could definitely make a full vacation out of this, even if it was just on the shorter end. Number 8, Acorn Heights. It's like a giant version of the houses from Tinkerbell. This whole course is just lovely, and I could see it being very similar to visiting a rural town. I will say I don't know how long it would be able to hold my interest, but right now I'd definitely be willing to check it out in person, because it's got this giant tree and this river. It's just a lovely area. Number 7, Dino Dino Jungle. Compared to the GameCube original, Dino Dino Jungle feels extremely based on Jurassic Park. While there aren't any rides, this area would be a very interesting place to visit, even if the dinos were just animatronics. It has a very natural parks feel to the scenery outside of the main building, so honestly, it would rank decently for that alone, but the combination of the dinosaurs and the natural aesthetic places it firmly in the top 10. Dinosaur Vacation, let's make it happen, Universal. Number 6, Whistle Stop Summit. This is basically an old mining town that's now just known for being the summit of the trains. It's honestly a fairly decent vibe, and initially I wanted to place it higher. Unfortunately, it's not the only location that has the train, so it just misses the top 5. It does feel like it would be more interesting to explore, but so would a lot of the courses, even in those back near the beginning of the list. There's just something about a slower, more relaxed vacation that sounds so good to me right now. Number 5, Starview Peak. Taking the observatory from Super Mario Galaxy and turning it into a tourist destination is absolutely brilliant. It's got amazing views of the Aurora Borealis, some insane architecture, and several lifetimes worth of books. As I said previously, this is just my placement for my current mood, but on a different day this could definitely have landed higher up. I just don't really want to go from 90 plus degrees Fahrenheit to what is obviously below 20 degrees Fahrenheit for a vacation in the middle of summer. Number 4, Salty Salty Speedway. This course is definitely inspired by Venice, Italy, and Nintendo has easily made this one of the best looking locations in the entire game. The little canal boats are an amazing touch, and a real life version of this would be amazing to explore. Based on the exploration I've done in game, there's an insane amount of stuff to do on a vacation here, and I would absolutely love to get to go. Number 3, Peach Stadium. I'm sure the giant castle being top 3 from the theme park lover is a real surprise. Peach's castle is just so iconic, and getting to explore a bigger version of it, rather than having what little is given at Super Nintendo World, would definitely be a lot of fun. It's got a moat and a train station. It just seems like a joy to get to be in. However, this would probably get moved down a few slots if I were to learn it's just, Daytona and the Mario World or something, because that doesn't sound like a vacation spot worth being this high up on the list for me. I'm gonna be honest. Number 2, Cheap Cheap Falls. This map is very much obviously steeped in Japanese culture, and I very much want to visit Japan eventually, so it ranks way up here in the top 2. I do feel like I've given it a massive bump just for that reason, but it's an interesting area with this giant waterfall flowing throughout the entire course, and it's just really fun to look at. It's also very, very relaxing in this area. I could just vibe here. However, if there's a spot to vacation that's even more relaxed, then it's definitely number 1, Peach Beach. This is an absolute classic map from Mario Kart Double Dash, and they revamped it into an awesome, all-inclusive resort. There is so much to explore here. You're right on the beach. It's literally called a resort, so paying for it gets me away from the loud and obnoxious spring break vibes of Koopa Troop Beach. Ironically, I think this area would actually cost me more to go to than some of the other top contenders, but it definitely feels like it would be worthwhile. Well, did you anticipate the ending? Let me know in the comments if you agreed with my choices, and definitely let me know what your top 5 would be. I have absolutely been enjoying playing on my Switch too, but don't worry, I will have more actual theme park content coming soon. Some of the ideas are just taking a little longer to figure out on how to do, but definitely make sure you subscribe for those because it will be worthwhile. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see ya real soon. Bye!